Alrighty, guys. It is 3:30 this Wednesday, January 28th. And all right, so we got the Fed announcement as expected, no change. Powell came out as well, not as expected, but yeah, he avoided stepping in it for sure. And I think the initial reaction was okay, volatile, but not directional. Just big volatility spike. And then after that, we has been freaking volatile, just slopping around. So nothing going on. All right. So, all right, I'll take that. At least he didn't step in it and created a big negative reaction in the market. So that's a really good sign. But right now, it's anyone's guess where it's going to go. If the market is going to believe what he said, it's not nothing else after they digest the news. Um, we'll see tomorrow morning. But right now, it seems to me like we may have a shot at holding on to these gains and potentially take this higher again. So I'll be hopeful. I'm going to keep that in mind. And at this point, we're in pretty good shape, I think. We won't know until after tomorrow's trading when the market digests this information and decides if they're going to be all spooked about it or not. Now, we do have earnings come out after the close, and that's going to be the next big hurdle to get through. So expect, at least on the Nasdaq, some volatile reactions and potentially directional moves. We'll see. So after that, we'll know if this market is going to be able to hold on to the gains here going into tomorrow's trading. But given what it is, given that the earnings may be good and we're not going to get any negative surprises, I'm going to stay range bound with a bias to the upside. Look to buy weakness against the 7,000 and 69.90s for rotations up. And looking for short setups against, well, I'm going to move an edge. It's going to create an edge here at the 7,030s, one here at the 40s for rotations down. Maybe one here right at the 7,015s as well. So that's kind of the dynamic we're going in with. And let's see if they start taking out these lows in the overnight, the 69.90s, and start trading below that in the aftermarket, depending on these tech earnings. I'll probably start range bound or even with a bias to the downside. On the Nasdaq, the bias is 26, or the support area is 26,100. Has held so far pretty good. But between that one and 126,100 and the 26,030s, also are the key areas to hold. If those comes out in the overnight, we'll back range bound and maybe even a bias to the downside. But initially, I'm starting to look to buy against that area, this 26,100 in the overnight. So we will see how it ends up closing and what happens with the earnings reports as they come out. So big stuff going on. But at least they had really big concerns about Powell really stepping in it. But so far, the market reaction hasn't been that of the face plant or something he stepped in. So I'm modestly optimistic that we may be holding on to these gains and maybe even see a little rally develop out of this. And on the bond side of things, no big reaction there either. So very much an anticlimactic reaction to this Fed meeting. You see, we are still stuck in the range. They were down here into the 2 o'clock hour, and then after the announcement, we just traded up a few ticks and then sticking in around 15. On the bond market, we has range bound. I haven't net traded the bond market at all, and I haven't taken any other trades on the ES or Nasdaq after since in the announcement. This kind of slop when it does this. Back to the ES now, by the way. But this kind of slop when it does this, it's just nothing you want to trade because it's just jerky reactions. You try to go with the type of trading in this, might try to trade the reaction. You have to wait for the breakout to occur and then try to hop on it. This stuff is just chop in the middle. So you don't know how to trade it. If you do, your chances are you just get stopped out and chopped up and you just lose a bunch of money. So I sat on my hands, did not try to be active. I was tempted. I was looking at this, the mean trade here. They ran it once, twice, 3 times up to that mean before they backed off. And I was super tempted, but these are big bars, by the way. These are pretty big bars. It's 190 up to the, well, not that big, 20 points up here. So they're big enough for me to want to be as, maybe not just step in front of us. They can run it back and forth easily and just knock you out. So anyway, I haven't done anything with that. The trades I took was earlier before the announcement. So one trade on the ES for $6, and I'll trade a couple of trades on the Nasdaq for 33, and that's it. That's the record for today. Alrighty, guys. I'll see you back in the morning. Let's see what happens with the earnings in the overnight. We'll see. Hang on a sec before I wrap it up. News for tomorrow. So tomorrow morning we have news. We have international trade at 8:30, jobless claims, productivity and costs, and then we have factory orders at 10. 7-year auction at 1. So that's what we got going tomorrow. So yeah, 8:30 and 10 o'clock we got news tomorrow. It could be potentially market moving. I think the reaction to the Fed meeting today and the tech earnings probably going to be the bigger part of tomorrow's reaction. And we'll see how this whole thing shakes out. Alrighty, guys. We'll leave it there and I'll see you back in the morning. You guys have a good evening. Later.